Views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Live Out of 3 Sports Podcast on the Evening Rush Network with my man Tyler. This is Coach Matt. TB, how you been, man? How was your week?
This week was good, slow. It's hot outside now.
Getting there, yeah. Finally, right? What's that?
It was like 100 degrees today. How was your week?
It felt like it, yeah. I just got back to New York probably like 30 minutes ago. I was in the Poconos since Monday. Weather was similar to here, so it was like 70s for most of the week, and then jumped up to what did we hit? It hit 80 today.
I know when I got in my car, it said 97.
Wow, how about that? Yeah, it's we're still in that weird space where it's like we got a little heat wave. We don't know if it's going to be consistent. We don't know if it's sticking around permanently or if it's going to drop. I think it's supposed to drop back in the 60s over the weekend. So, but we'll take it. For sure. But it's been nice out. But got a few days away with the fam. Listen to some crickets and just some barbecuing. Got away from the hustle and bustle a little bit. Recharge the battery while the kids are on spring break. But we're back, man. We're back. So I will fully admit that I'm catching up on everything because where we was at, the Wi-Fi was spotty, no signals, no ESPN, so I'm a little behind, but I'm catching up. So yeah, but before we get started, jumping in on this NBA stuff, T, why don't you let the people know where they can find us and follow us?
You can find us on all streaming platforms. Where else you can find us? On Instagram, Live by the 3 Sports Podcast, on Amazon. Sure. Anywhere with streaming services, you'll find it.
Yep, and please download the Evening Rush Network on all podcasts, on your podcasting platforms, on your phone, on your tablet, wherever. Please follow, subscribe, and follow to the Evening Rush Network for great content, entertainment, music, fashion, lots of different programming going on the network. So please support them, and it's a way you can keep up with us. So yeah, it's NBA is in full swing. We talked about college basketball last week, but that's over. Now the NBA, baseball season is just starting up last week, but NBA is in full view. That's what's going on. Football's in the off season, so it's really all about the NBA right now, and the playoffs are starting. We had the play-in games the beginning of this week, and it's not completed yet. Still have a couple of spots up in the air that need to be filled, but the majority of the other playoff matchups are set up. So it's about that time. So did you get a chance to check out any of the playing game stuff? It's a little confusing with the how they situated, but have you been able to catch any of the games and follow what's going on with the playing games?
Yeah, a little bit. I watched a little bit of the Lakers game, a little bit of the Bulls. Follow up a little bit.
I heard the Lakers had a big comeback, right?
Yeah, they did. They almost blew it.
Right?
Blew it. Yeah.
Who did?
Anthony Davis. It was down 3, tied up. LeBron drove to the hole, gave it to Schroeder. He hit a 3.
Okay.
Left. They come down court. This dude fouls Michael Conley. Michael Conley shoots a 3, lands.
And fouled him?
Davis fouls him in the corner. He hits all 3. Game tied. Overtime.
Wow, how about that? But then the Lakers went in and took care of business in overtime. Okay, all right. Well,
a lot of people say the Lakers got a good chance to win it.
People have been saying that all along, that if they get everything clicking and everybody's healthy, right, that they have just as good a chance as anybody else. And obviously LeBron, he shows up in the playoffs, so you don't have to worry about that. And they could be scary for anybody. They have experience, so they could be a scary matchup. So
they got
Memphis. Yeah. No, that's going to be that'll be interesting. Memphis was, I would say they're still relatively young. They don't have the same experience that the Lakers do, but they did have, they had the experience from last season of being in the playoffs. So they're not a stranger to playoff basketball. So that that'll be Lakers. That's it. That's a tough first round match for them, though, because like you said, the Lakers are if they're healthy, then they can they can make a run at it. So yeah, we can let's look at the matchups and we could talk about. We'll go one by one, round by round, and see who you like. So the first one is still undecided, right? So the number one overall seed is the Milwaukee Bucks, and we'll know who they play with the play-in game. So the number 8 seed in the East is still undecided.
You got static on your end.
Do I? Okay, I'm sorry about that. Is that better?
No. But you just moved your head?
I don't know. I just tilted a little bit. So, what's the playing game that we have remaining to determine who faces the Bucks in the first round?
The first round we got Chicago and Miami.
Okay, and that game's on Friday, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So who do you like? Well, let's start with that. Who do you like in that series between Chicago and Miami? Who do you see coming out? Chicago. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you got Chicago, then you got Milwaukee in the first round. So how do you see that series going? Do you think that Chicago can put up a good fight and it'll be competitive?
It'll get swept.
That's a sweep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you think?
I mean, Miami's that deal. Chicago's young. If Miami ends up winning it, Miami does have, the experience. So if by any chance Miami was to win the game and get into the play-in game, I don't know I don't think they can beat Milwaukee, but I don't think they would get swept. I might tend to agree with you if Chicago gets in just because their team is a little bit younger and a little bit not as playoff experienced. They might, Milwaukee might be able to have their way with them. So yeah, that's an interesting dynamic. So we'll see. So I believe that playing game is tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that playing game is tomorrow. So then we'll know. And then I want to say that the series will start on Sunday. So okay. So so they get 1 day turnaround, and then they gotta go get Milwaukee. So it's a quick turnaround for them. Okay. All right. So then the next matchup we got in the East, we got the number 2 seed, the Boston Celtics, against the Atlanta Hawks. That's games on Saturday. So what are your thoughts on that series?
Boston 6.
Boston is 6. Okay. So it said I'm looking at some notes right now, and it said the season series was 3-0. The Celtics swept them. So Hawks got some good young talent. But now, is Jaylen Brown still hurt?
I don't think so. Well, he got 5 stitches.
Yeah. He had this situation with his hand, right? Where he broke. Okay, so say he's ready to go. Okay, all right. So now I didn't even see and you may not know the answer to this, but what I don't know if it was his shooting hand that he cut up when he was doing the thing with his I guess he was doing some pottery, some plants or something like that, and something broke and he cut his hand up. But I don't know if it was.
He's right-handed, right?
Yes.
Yep.
It was a shooting hand. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully it's all healed up and he's ready to go. But yeah. So you're saying now you saying a sweep in that series also, or you think that the Hawks can get a game?
I'm gonna give the Hawks to get. I don't know. I want to say sweep, but
Hawks can score.
5.
5 games, you give them 5. Okay, maybe they sneak one in Atlanta. Hawks can score now.
Yeah, but it's just levels. Man.
They don't play any defense, but they could score it though.
Yeah, I give them 6. 5 in the possible.
5 in the possible. All right, depending on whether that king walks. Okay, I got you. All right. So we got
who you got?
Next one, we got the Sixers and the Nets.
Who's yours? Who you got?
No, I agree with you. I think obviously the Celtics have the experience. The Hawks, they played in the playoffs, but not, Celtics, made it to the finals. So they have the experience, and they're rolling. They haven't taken a pause out of what they did last year. They're still playing well, so they're right there. So yeah, I'll say them. I'll give them 5 games. Also, I'll say Atlanta might get 1 in Atlanta. Those young dudes, Murray and Young catch fire one day, and they'll take 1 in Atlanta. So yeah, I agree with you. I'll say Celtics in 5. All right. So the next one we have number 3 seed, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the number 6 seed, the Brooklyn Nets. That game is on in Philadelphia, obviously, because they're the higher seed. So, what are your thoughts on that? Brooklyn Nets kind of, they emptied the roster, but they had enough wins and they were able to, keep it going good enough to still, they didn't have to play in the playing game. They
Philly at 7.
Philly and 7. Okay, they're gonna give them a run. Okay. All right. Now, what do you?
I think Brooklyn probably could beat them, but it's going to be a tough series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you got Joel Embiid who's playing at a MVP level. You got James Harden.
9 out of 10 New York.
Tough offense to stop.
People want the big
technical difficulties.
You got commercials going on. You got some unsanctioned commercials. Hope we getting a check for that. All right. Yeah, I agree with you. Season series, the 76ers won, 4-0. I don't know if they'll sweep them in the playoffs, but that's another game I'm looking at giving them 5. I mean, the Sixers just got too much offense. The Nets, they're playing hard and competing and all of that, but they just don't. They don't. Honestly, at the end of the day,
they're good.
They're good for sure. Playoff time.
Philly's inconsistent though.
They are, but playoff time. It comes down to the elite players. You know what I mean? And the Nets don't have one, and the Sixers got 2 of them. So yeah, I'll go with the Sixers on that. I'll say Sixers and 5. Okay, all right. So now this one's going to be competitive. I mean, obviously because of the where the standings are, but you got number 4 Cleveland versus the New York Knickerbockers. The series starts on Saturday. So what are your thoughts? I know you're not the biggest believer in the Knicks, but what are your thoughts on this series?
Cleveland is 6.
Cleveland is 6. Okay.
What you think?
I'm gonna go with the upset. I'll go Knicks in 7. So Knicks in 7, just to be a little different. I think now obviously it's gonna be Cleveland's defense is really good. All right, but and the Knicks scoring is but I think Donovan Mitchell, he'll just put them over the top. They'll be able to get 4 games, but I think the Knicks overall, I think they'll defensively, I think they'll be able to. It'll be low scoring games. I'll say that on both sides, but I think the Knicks might catch lightning in a bottle, and I think they get through this one. I think I'll pick, even though I'm not a Knicks fan, I'll pick them to win. So I'll go Knicks in 7. All right. So hold me to that. Everybody remember. So then if the Knicks win, I called it. All right. So we can talk about how those, obviously it's going to take a little while for that to shape up on the playoff front, because it's going to take about a week or so for those to get decided, unless except for the sweeps. So we'll know about that. But let's jump over to the West Coast. So we have the Denver Nuggets, number 1 seed, been playing great all year. They got another MVP candidate with the Joker, and they got a deep loaded team, and they're playing the number 8 seed in the West, which is still to be decided. So who we got playing in the playing game for that last spot on the West Coast?
Who is the playing game? Who's the playing game? I just said it.
I think is it the Thunder and
Minnesota.
Thunder and the Timberwolves?
Yeah,
and the Timberwolves. Okay, so the Thunder, they've been playing well all year. They a little bit better than people expected to them, and the Timberwolves got good talent, right? They got Anthony Edwards, they got Rudy Gobert, they got Karl Anthony Towns, but I don't know. What do you? What's that?
They just holding space.
Is that right? Now, well, I mean, they got dudes fighting on the bench and all of that too, so that doesn't help.
Nah, it really doesn't.
That doesn't help. I mean, they said they squashed it. You know what I mean? They said that they it was just one of those heat of the moments things. There's no beef. They're cool. They're moving on. They're think the quote that I heard Kyle Anderson said he thinks is corny that people are making a big deal out of it. It's like, okay, I mean, when you're
Yeah, but he said that y'all got some decisions to make this summer.
Mm-hmm.
So what is he talking about?
I mean, he is. I would assume is he's trying to get paid, like everybody, right? So yeah, so listen, and that the deeper run you make in the playoffs, the more you can command on the open market if that's the case. So hopefully, for his sake, they can put all that stuff to the side and make a run. But so okay, so who are you think is going to come out of that one between OKC and the Timberwolves?
OKC.
Okay, all right. So you got SGA, okay, and then so then now how do you see it going down between the Nuggets and if you're going OKC, how you see that going down?
Denver in 5.
Denver 5. Okay, you give OKC
I give
1.
Denver 6.
6? Okay.
I think OKC games out.
Then okay, all right.
I mean, you got the Knicks in 7, so I mean, I can't really go wrong over here.
I'm just honestly, man. I think that one's a toss up. I think what I do think is I think it'll go 7 though. I think it'll go 7. I think that Knicks Cavs series is going to go 7, and then from that point, it's just obviously it'll be Game 7 will be in Cleveland, so that gives them a little bit of an advantage. But yeah, man.
Did the Knicks have a chance to get what's his name?
Donovan Mitchell
and Brunson?
I don't remember it going down like that. I want to say it was kind of like they shot their shot at Donovan, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they signed Brunson first, and then they were still trying to get Donovan Mitchell after that. That's a great question that I don't remember the history of. But yeah, I think it was. I do think that they were trying to get both of them. I don't think it was an either or situation. I think it was, they were trying to get both of them and looking at it like that would be the backcourt. And then Donovan Mitchell ended up going to Cleveland. That could be true. So, yeah. So, you have a little bit of history with that situation. We'll see how that plays out. But, these guys are pros. So, obviously, they're trying to win. All right. So you got all right. So you think that first round matchup with Denver is going to be competitive. Now, is it that you see a chink in the armor with Denver that you think an 8 seed can push them, or is it more so that you think that highly of OKC?
Yeah, I think they're good. I think OKC is good. They're resilient. I think they could pull out 2 games.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one. So this is gonna be an interesting one. The number 2 seed, you got the Memphis Grizzlies versus the number 7 seed, the Los Angeles Lakers. So, thoughts? What are you thinking?
That's a tough one. It could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Memphis got enough to deal with AD and LeBron. So I'm going to go with experience.
Well, now we can break down who was playing and everything like that, but the Lakers actually, won the season series 2-1. So now we could break down, who was playing in those games, if guys were injured, or out, either way, suspensions, whatever the case is. But the Lakers did win the season series 2-1. And you got Ja, you got Jaren Jackson, you got Desmond Bain.
You said Janet Jackson?
Jaren Jackson, not Dan Jackson, Jaren Jackson, right? So those are the new Jacks, right? And then you got LeBron and Anthony Davis, if healthy. I mean, I don't know if when healthy. Well, would you say that they're the best 1-2 punch in the league when healthy? No. Okay. All right. So at least they're one of them. All right. So at least they're one of them.
What do you think? I don't like Anthony Davis game.
You say you don't like it?
I mean, I like it, but I don't see I don't know. It's not like it don't wow me. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't like.
It's not. I feel what you're saying. With Anthony Davis, to me, it's not like you don't see dominance, right? You see the talent. You know what I'm saying? You see he can do a bunch of different things. You know what I'm saying? You see the talent, but you don't see dominance. Like when I watch Anthony Davis play, I agree. It's like he's talented, but it's not you're not just like, oh man, this dude is just like dominating the game. Does you know what I mean? Like, I agree with that. He, and not just because they're tall and all of that, but he reminds me a little bit of like a Chris Bosh type of player. You know what I mean? Like really good, talented, but it's just like,
Chris Bosh is better. I think Chris Bosh is more consistent and better than him.
Consistent, yeah, for sure. I mean, well, Chris Bosh didn't have the.
So let me ask you this: what do you think the difference between Karl Anthony Towns and AD?
Very similar. Obviously, they played together. Very similar. I think Karl Anthony Towns shoots it more and better. Anthony Davis will go inside a little bit more than Karl Anthony Towns. But I mean, really, honestly, it would just come down to the best ability is availability, right? Karl Anthony Towns, he plays more games. You know what I mean? That's So if I was taking somebody, I'd rather have him just because it's pretty. He's more than likely going to be out there. He's going to be playing. So. And that's not, I'm not holding that against Anthony Davis as far as like it's his fault, but I mean, at a certain point, it just is what it is. Like, my man, you're always on the knot.
Healthy Julius Randle or hurt AD?
Yeah, healthy Julius.
Damn.
I mean, yo, can you look at how many games has Anthony Davis played this year?
How many you think?
I'll give him 50.
That's a lot.
That might be generous. That might be generous.
56.
56. Okay, that's close. And again, I'm not blaming him. It's, stuff happens, but what are you gonna do? All right, so you went Lakers?
Yeah. Lakers in 7.
See, the only problem is like I want to pick the Lakers too, but the caveat is always just like, is he going to stay healthy for the 7 games of the series?
That's why 7. That's why I'll go 7. I think LeBron could pull one out without him.
No.
You don't think they can win without AD?
No. No. I mean, well, let me rephrase that. For sure it'll be harder. So what you're basing that on is that you're saying that LeBron got one last turn up in him where he's just gonna go berserk and just.
I got LA going 3-1, and then this dude getting hurt.
Okay.
The game 4.
Yep.
And all LA got to do is get one game.
And LeBron
they'll lose game 2. I mean, they'll lose game 5. They'll lose game 6, and then just got to get game 7.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, it's yeah. Like I said, I would go with the Lakers if there was a guarantee that Anthony Davis is going to play all 7 games. I would go to Lakers. You know what? I'm not going to put that bad mojo out there on him. I don't have anything against him personally, so I'm going to predict that he will be healthy for the 7 games and he'll be out there. And so I'll predict the Lakers to win that too.
So if he's healthy,
yeah.
What's your prediction? Healthy,
100%. I still 7, I think.
7 games healthy.
Yeah, still 7. Yeah, still 7. I mean, the Grizzlies are good. You know what I mean? Even that's a 2-7 matchup, but the Lakers. They are who they are, and they have who they have. But the Grizzlies are good. So that that's not going to be easy for anybody. For sure, and it's a tough out. I mean, the West Coast matchups are just definitely way more compelling than the East Coast. I mean, you got the 4-5 with Cleveland and the Knicks, but the other one kind of mild, at least in the first round. But you got some really good first round matchups on the West Coast. So let's jump into another good one. Should be a good series. The upstarts, the Sacramento Kings, versus the old faithful, the Golden State Warriors. That's gonna be interesting, man.
What's the series?
Oh, for this what was it in the regular season? 3-1 Lakers. I'm Lakers. 3-1 Warriors. 3-1 Warriors. So In the regular season, Warriors had their way with them. I don't, again, we don't know who was playing, who wasn't playing, that type of thing. But the Warriors went 3-1 in this regular season.
The only thing Mike Brown, man, he know that system.
That's true.
He knows that system.
Knows the system and the players.
So that's the only thing
intimately.
I'm a little weary about is that they get after it, and he know them players.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just recently got Coach of the Year or some shit like that.
I think I saw. I think it wasn't the It was, I want to say it was the NBCA, so I believe that's the NBA's Coaches Association. So his peers picked him for Coach of the Year, which is awesome, obviously. And listen, the Kings are the 3 seed in the West, so obviously he did a tremendous job. I would assume that the official NBA one, it'll probably be similar to that, and that where he'll be the choice. But definitely congratulations to him. Now, one could devil's advocate him knowing the Warriors. Now, again, we don't know who was hurt, who was playing, all of that, but, him knowing the Warriors inside and out, they still, were 3-1 in the regular season, and playoff basketball is different.
Wait, they Golden State won the series?
Yeah, 3-1 in the regular season.
Oh, yeah, then they're going to beat them in 6.
Okay, you can go 6, now, same thing. I agree. So, but you're saying that even without the playoff experience and, they got, Sabonis and Fox, they're young guys. Obviously, Warriors have way more experience.
Yeah, I think
but why? So why do you think that? So you think it's just a talent thing that they can push them to 6?
Well, I think they could get 2 games. I mean, they're the 3rd seed. We got to give them a little bit of respect. You know what I'm saying? They can get 2 games. It might not be like up 2-0 or nothing like that. It could be 2-1.
Yeah.
Win game 5, 4. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Could be something like that.
Mm-hmm. Travel won't be that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're relatively close. So yeah, I can see that. You say that. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if those guys, obviously the Kings had a great regular season, but it'll be interesting to see. Now you get in the playoffs and just that experience that Curry, Thompson, and Draymond Green have, if how that plays out. Now, so do you think it'll be 6? They're the 3 seed, like we say. Do you think there'll be competitive games, or it'll be like, like you said, Warriors might win 2, then Kings get 1. But do you think they'll be competitive and close, which playoff basketball usually is, or do you think it's more so like they're just young boy them? You know what I mean?
It might be semi-close.
Right.
It might be semi-close. I mean, I think Sacramento. Well, if Sacramento plays well at home, Golden State don't really play well on the road.
Right.
So it'll be the first 2 games will pretty much set the tone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it'll be. Yeah, it'll be tough. Let me see, 2-2. I could see it being 2-2, and then they losing the next 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting. All right. But you're going. Now, you said Warriors in 6.
Mm-hmm.
Warriors in 6. Okay. All right. So that's an upset, even though because they're the 3 seed, but
It's still
Warriors. Yeah, for sure. All right, and then the last matchup, good one though. Again, same thing. West Coast, man. They're good teams. So you got the Suns, who are the 4 seed, against the Clippers. So two talented teams going at it, and they're right there with each other. So, what are your thoughts on that? So we had the season series, as you would expect, was 2-2 during the regular season. So it was 2-2. Now again, they're both teams that deal with injuries and all of that. Obviously, KD was out for a little while. Kawhi Leonard was out for a little while, so you always have that little bit of back and forth. But it was 2-2 in the regular season. So what you got? Suns and the Clippers.
I got Clippers at 7.
Clippers in 7. Okay.
Who you got?
I'm gonna go Suns in 6. I'm a rep for my boy Damian Lee. I'm gonna say the Suns are gonna get that done in 6. So I think they just have when healthy. Paul George is good, Kawhi Leonard, but I just think with
like they just regular dudes. Let's go
Oh
Wait,
no,
let's go to break and come back and talk about that.
All right, we could do that. We'll do that. We'll continue that. So so we'll go to halftime, and we'll be back on the Evening Rush Network with Live by the Three Sports Podcast. We'll catch you in a few.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Chrissy, here to let you know that the Evening Rush Network now has an app. Yes, an app, you guys. So you can stay connected on the go and watch all your favorite podcast shows. You can download the app at Google Play Store or Apple iTunes. So spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, if you're looking to start a podcast and really don't know how, well, hit us up at the Evening Rush Network at gmail.com and inquire about time slots, pricings, and everything you may need to get started. We got you. Join the winning team, the Evening Rush Network. And also, download that app. What are you waiting for? Get to it.
We are back. Tyler stepped away for a second, but we're back with Live by the Three Sports Podcast. There he is. He's back. He's back. Had to get a bev. Back. But we're back with Live by the Three Sports Podcast on the Evening Rush Network. So so let's continue that on. So what were you saying about the Clippers? You think I'm underestimating them?
Yeah, man. I think it's time, man. I think it's time for the Clippers to put it all together. They got great defenders. They can match up well with Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time, man. I think it's time they really put everything together and make a good push.
Well, they're gonna. I mean, guys gonna have to step up because, from my understanding, Paul George is not going to be there for the start of the series. I'm not sure how long he's out for.
He hurt again. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jesus.
Check it out. I just saw a note that he's not going to be starting the series. He might. I don't know how many games he's
no
slotted.
Timeline.
You said no return timeline.
Yeah, forget it. Phoenix.
Yeah. So you said Kawhi can't hold it down? Nah, it's too much. Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. You know, you got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. You know, even when throwing DeAndre Ayton. And listen, the Clippers have a good team, but it's just too much. So you thinking that Kawhi and Westbrook can't hold it down until Paul George gets back. That's what they brought him there for, right? That's why they made the trade. That's why they picked him up.
I mean, he can hold it down holding Chris Paul, but who gonna guard Booker?
You're right.
Chris Paul's out there. Him and Kawhi, they match up with KD and Booker.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah. I mean, well, nobody really mentions Kevin Durant, but that's another story. So there's no real matchup.
You don't think Kawhi could guard Kevin Durant?
I don't think any elite scorer can be guarded by anybody.
You don't think he can slow him down?
Depends what your version of slowing them down is. He may not get 50, he could get 30.
You think he'll get 30 on Kawhi?
I think elite scorers can get 30 on anybody. I don't think that. I've never seen. I'm not talking about one game, but I've never seen an elite scorer a true elite scorer get shut down by anybody.
Now, a good 30 or a bad 30?
That's a fair question, right? Now, is it a bad? Okay, let me ask this: is it a bad 30 if you only shoot, let's say, 10 for 25, but part of it is because you were getting fouled? So you go 10 for 25, and then you go say you go 10 for 25, and that got you to say 25, and then you got fouled a bunch, and then you shoot 10, 15 foul shots, and you make 10 or 12. So now you get over 30. So your shooting percentage wasn't that great, but it was because you were getting fouled in the act of shooting. Does that make that?
Kevin Durant averaged 27-8 against Kawhi in 14 games in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And Kawhi averages 20.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So okay. So he's not. So right. So he might not. So if he's averaging 27, that means he has some games. So let's just we'll call that. We'll split that in the middle. So that means he has some 25-point games. He has some 30-point games, or maybe he had a 20-point game. He had don't get my math on display, but
so he shoots 50.
50%. Right, there you go. So right, that's my personal opinion. No elite scorers are getting shut down by anybody, no matter how good a defensive player they are alleged to be. I've never seen it. Never seen it. Now I'm not gonna say one game. And of course one game's here, but over the course of time, great scores get theirs. That's just now, like I said, now they may not give you 50 or 60, but you're not, you know, like because I used to always
He
make me
gave him
laugh.
50 in 2018.
No, that's 5 years ago. Yeah, it's possible. Listen, man, dudes at that level, man, that they're just the consistent elite scorers. Not really. You could slow them down a little bit, but you're not
But he
making them
also
look.
took 30. He was 18 for 31.
That's still over 50% though. That's what I'm saying. Like
58%.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just ain't no guarding them dudes, man. Dudes that's like that. It ain't he ain't really guard. You can make it a little tougher.
So how far you think Phoenix can go?
Well, I mean, like I said, they got 3 Hall of Famers on. Devin Booker. Obviously, Devin Booker. He's only a few years in, but I mean, projecting out. I mean, they got 3 Hall of Famers on their team. I think they can go real far. I mean, they made it far last year, right? So it's just a matter of the matchups and staying healthy, but I think they have the talent to go far. Now again, so let's look at that bracket, right? So if they're the 4 and 5, then they would play the winner of immediately. They would be in that 1-8, right? Do I have that correct?
Let me see. 1-8.
They would play the winner of the 4-5 would play the winner of 1 and 8, right? Is that how it goes?
I think so. Let me see. I'm trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, but traditionally,
yeah, they play 1-8.
Right. So that means that if we're saying, let's say the Suns get past the Clippers, right? And then we're going to go with the narrative, the assumption that the Nuggets are going to get past whoever wins the playing game series. So Nuggets Suns in the second round. The Joker's incredible. They got Murray. Denver's the number 1 seed, but the Suns can beat them.
I got Golden State and Phoenix in the Western Conference. On the west side, on the east, I got Milwaukee and Boston.
Again, yep. Yeah, it's usual. That's the thing. Is like the East is kind of getting somewhat predictable on that side. The West, I think, is the East is becoming a little bit predictable. Still good teams, but it's getting a little bit predictable. The West Coast is though. I mean, it's a crapshoot. I mean, because so you're saying that. So you think that in the second round, Phoenix is going to beat Denver if it goes the way that we're saying. You think Phoenix is getting that?
Yeah,
right.
Got too much firepower for Denver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. I mean, they do.
Play lights out.
Because you don't need all. You only need maybe 1.5. I mean, if all 3 of them dudes got it going on the same night, forget it. You know what I mean? Forget about it. They can probably get away with beating most teams with just 2 of them playing well.
But Denver's number 1 for a reason, so
they absolutely are. Absolutely,
be a toss-up.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. I mean, that would definitely be I don't know. Well, you never say definitely, right? But should be on paper. If it goes that way in the second round between Denver and the Suns, you're definitely looking at a 7-game series. I would say for sure.
I got Milwaukee winning. If Milwaukee's healthy, I think they can
win the whole thing. Wow. Okay. So now, why do you feel so strongly about that?
I think they're the best team in basketball. They won it last year if Middleton hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, really, they're just a dominant team.
But so you said you think it's going to be the Warriors and the Suns coming out of the West. That's what you said. So make a prediction on who you think is coming out, though. If that's the Western Conference Finals, the Suns and the Warriors.
I'll go Warriors.
Okay. Now, I will say that I think. See, here's the thing. To me, at least, if it ends up being the Warriors that come out, I agree with you. I think Milwaukee beats them. However, I think if the Suns come out, I think they'll beat Milwaukee.
Based off of what?
Like, I just think they have more.
You got to give me more. I don't know what that means.
Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker.
The Holy Trinity?
What's that?
The Holy Trinity?
I mean, sure. Because now you're talking about, obviously Kevin Durant got traded middle of the season, right? So now, they play the rest of the season and getting themselves together. Then now you're talking about 2 or 3 rounds of the playoffs for them really to get their group together, and if once they get, if and when they get firing on all cylinders, and if you would assume if they make it to the finals that means that they're clicking, right? I think that's tough to beat.
But you still got the Chris Paul factor.
But the difference is now he can even have an okay game. If Devin Booker and Kevin Durant do their thing, that's enough. It's enough. Chris Paul said before was Chris Paul was always on the team where if he, had his see, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say that. But if Chris Paul doesn't play up to his usual standard before that, then they didn't have enough. But now you add Kevin Durant in that mix, even if he does slip a little bit, you still got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. I think if they both show up, that's enough. Even if Chris Paul and maybe Chris Paul not having the pressure to deliver a whole lot, because now it's just okay. Let me get you your shot. Let me get you your shot. Let me get DeAndre Ayton alive. Let me, you know what I mean? Let me just. I don't have that much pressure on me because now I don't even really have to score really. If I do, it's a luxury. That's gravy. That's icing on the cake. But maybe that taking a little bit of that pressure off of him helps his play in the playoffs.
So who you got?
We haven't seen it, but that's possible.
Who you got coming out?
I mean, I think I'm right there with you between the Warriors and the Warriors and the Suns. I'll go Warriors though. I'll go Warriors. I think they got one. This is it though. I think this is it. This is after this year. I think that this will be the year the Warriors. I don't know if the Warriors are going to win the whole thing, but I think this is their last run.
So who you got out of Warriors in Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
But Milwaukee can't beat the Suns?
It's not that they can't. I just think that it's not. No, it's not a can't.
Is it matchup?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just think I just think it'd be too. Draymond Green would probably get kicked.
Yeah.
Kicked out. He'll probably get kicked out. What's that? What'd you say?
He would have to guard Paul and KD, right?
Oh no.
Clay would have to guard him. Poole probably have to guard Booker.
Mm-hmm.
Steph had to finally guard somebody. He had to guard Chris Paul, but like you said, Chris Paul gonna be chilling, so Steph is gonna be chilling.
But see, that's the thing, though. That's the thing. Chris Paul now he can pick his spot. So if, like you said, if Steph wants to chill on it, okay, that's when because now and all the attention is helping on Booker, helping on KD, and now on those plays when Steph is trying to take a play off, that's when Chris Paul can get his little one dribble pull ups in and get in the lane and dime. You know what I mean? Like that's when he can pick his spots. Then he doesn't have to do it for 48 minutes. That I think that helps him in that matchup. But I still think the Warriors can pull it together for one last run. I think they can. So if it ends up going the way we're predicting with the Suns and the Warriors, I think the Warriors can get out of the West for one last run. But I think if they run into Milwaukee, though, I think Milwaukee will beat them. But that's interesting, man. So let me ask you this: so why? So you're saying you think the Golden State and the Suns, but why do you think the Nuggets can't get out to even make it to the Western Conference Finals? What do you see wrong with them? Why you think they can't make it?
Because they have to go to Phoenix.
That just okay. All right.
They got to either Phoenix or the Clippers.
Right. Yeah.
If it was the other way around, then if they was playing Sacramento, if they was on the bottom bracket, the Sacramento, Golden State, Memphis, and LA, then yeah, they can get there.
Right.
Might still be able to get there with Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So let's so the regular season is over, okay? And the playoffs aren't supposed to play a part in the MVP voting, right? It's supposed to be just based on the regular season, but we have seen in the past that generally they don't usually give it to guys that have been eliminated because they don't announce the MVP towards 2 or 3 rounds in. But based off of the regular season, I know we talked about the 3 candidates last week, and we said we were talking about who we think should get it. I think that was a question that we asked. Based on how the regular season ended up, who do you? So we talk about who we know who we think should get it. Who do you think will get it?
I don't know, man. They're saying the odds are
The Vegas odds, okay.
a Greek freak.
Giannis. Wow.
They got Embiid, number 1, 33, 10, and 4. Joker, 24, 11, and 9. 25, 12, and 10, pretty much. Giannis, 31, 11, and 5. It's tough, man, because you have to. I don't know, man. It's tough. Like I said, yeah, he might get it for sympathy, man.
Who's that? Who might get it for sympathy?
What's his name? Embiid.
Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think that they factor winning into it? Because now, if you look at it and say, okay, you got 2 candidates, both of them were number 1 on their side. So then, that makes it a little bit easier. Maybe if you focus in from a winning perspective, then you can just say, okay, Milwaukee was the number 1 seed in the East. Denver was number 1 seed in the West. So then you make it a 2-horse race between Joker and Giannis. That could, now again, the voters can vote however they want.
But you got to have him. He averaged 33 and 10, so you got to put him.
He did.
Also got to beat him, man. And they was number 1 team in the league, right? Denver's number 1.
Okay. So let's ask it this way then. Embiid had that great year, and he has James Harden on his team. Giannis, great year, does not have anybody of James Harden. So then how come Milwaukee will finish with the number 1 overall record, and Philadelphia didn't?
They're a better team.
Yeah. We know that overall it's a better team, but I'm just saying if you're supposed to be an MVP, you're supposed to be the best player in the league, and you got a Hall of Famer next to you.
Yeah, well, that don't mean that your team is going to be good.
Not
like the number 1.
It doesn't, but why not? Well, why did it? Why not? I know that it doesn't guarantee that. I'm asking, but how come you couldn't get that done? Not you.
Like he's not that type of player. To carry his team, and you know what I'm saying? He's not that type of player.
Then should you be the MVP?
If you have a good year, yeah. Personally, yeah.
But if you can't carry your team, it's the MVP, right? The most valuable player. So doesn't that make Giannis the most valuable player? If he doesn't have the same caliber, you know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't that make him the most valuable?
Giannis?
I get what the numbers. Embiid's numbers are awesome. I'm just asking, that's all I'm asking. And I'm not.
Giannis is clearly he's like the best player of the league. Like, there's no disputing that. He's easily top 3 in the league. Embiid, you can't say that for Embiid.
That's true.
So I think that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Just like he's not really consistently great. He's good, but he hasn't been consistently great.
That's true. So then you shouldn't be. I mean, regardless. So then you're saying that.
I mean, he's having a good year. If he had the year that he's having now, and they're the number 1 or the number 2 seed, it's a little different.
Yeah, then we're not even having this.
But they number 3, 4, was the third seed?
3. They're 3.
They number 3. In the East.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So to me, he should. Let me not go that far. I'm not going to say he shouldn't be in the discussion. I'm not going to go that far. That's too putting too much on it. But I'm just saying, you know, I get it. You average 33 and 10, but you the 3 seed, homie. You know what I mean? Like you the 3 seed.
I mean, even though Philly, if they was in the West, they would be the number 1 seed because they 54 and 28.
Mm-hmm.
It's 53 and 29.
Oh yeah, I mean the West Coast teams, you know, they're beating up on each other. You know.
But
West Coast, you know,
harder in the West.
Yeah, they're beating up on each other. And I will say that too is that, you know, those teams out there, like they're beating up on each other, and there's not that much separation in the talent between those top teams. I feel like on the East, it's you got obviously Milwaukee, they got Giannis. You got Boston, they got their 2 guys, right? And then you have the Sixers. But then once you get to the 4 and 5, like, again, you know, Donovan Mitchell, really good player. Murray, good player. But, you know what I mean? But that's a drop now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, again, I'm not trying to slight Donovan Mitchell. I'm just saying that you're going from, you know, the top 3 teams, and then Cleveland is the next best team. You know, Donovan Mitchell's a good player. Then you go to the next, you know, you got the Knicks. Yeah. Jalen Brunson, really good player. Julius Randle, really good player. But they're not up with those guys. You laughing? I'm neutral on that. I'm just going by the numbers and listen, they're the 5th seed, you know, so you can't knock it too much. But I'm just saying, you know, but that is a drop off from the caliber of play of those top 3 teams. Well, on the West Coast, I mean, shoot, you got LeBron James, you know, arguably the top 2 or 3 best players of all time, and you know, they're the 7th seed. So, you know, you got Russell Westbrook, Hall of Famer, you know, on the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, you know, all those guys. I mean, former MVPs. You know, there's a lot going on in the you know, on the West Coast. And then you got, you know, the young upstarts. You got, you know, John Morant, guys like that. It's thick over there. So
the West is tough.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. I mean, Lakers and LeBron James. You know, they're the 7th seed. But I mean, part of that is injuries, and then they had that whole experiment with you know, Russell Westbrook too. That kind of.
But he's doing good in LA though, in the Clippers.
See, but this is Paul George is hurt, right? Okay, he's out. But we're questioning whether the Clippers can get to the next round. They got 2 Hall of Famers on their roster. Why is it a question? That's the thing that gets me about this whole conversation about Russell Westbrook. Why are we think about how, and again, I'm not saying it's going to happen this way, but why it's like he's not even in consideration.
Because he's in the wrong position. If he was a Hall of Fame 2 or 3 that can go up against Booker or Durant, that's different. He can't guard neither one of them.
Why do we have to? Why are there so many qualifying conversations about this guy? Seriously,
What impact is
you've been watching basketball? You've been watching basketball a long time. Have you ever heard this many qualifying discussions about whys and this, that with any other Hall of Fame player that you ever can remember?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
Well, I'll say one of them you brought up already. We talked about with Phoenix. He might be the next closest guy. But after that, there's no, you know, and with him, they don't talk about, oh, it's the system or he's playing the wrong position. You know, it might be, okay, maybe, you know, he don't bring it in the playoffs or whatever the case is. But anybody else that we're talking about, outside of injuries, there's no qualifying it. You're a Hall of Famer. You do stuff and you.
I mean, he's not in his prime, so you got to take that into account.
Kawhi Leonard's not in his prime either. Nobody. We're not discounting him.
I think Kawhi's a little younger than him, though, right?
He's younger than him, but he's not.
Kawhi's a different. See, okay, There's different levels of Hall of Fame.
So, I'm not saying he is or he isn't. You're saying you don't think he's
He
first
might
ballot?
be a low tier Hall of Famer. He might be
Who?
Westbrook.
No.
You don't think there's levels of Hall of Fame?
I do absolutely. So you don't think he's a first ballot? I'm not saying deserve to be. Forget him. Take that
He
out.
might be a first ballot because of his stats.
Yes, absolutely.
But if it's performance, that's a little different.
Oh, no question. Oh, I'm not arguing with you there, but I'm just saying the dude is.
But there's this levels. You saying he's a Hall of Famer, like he's Hall of Famer, like Scotty, MJ, like that. He don't have that type of impact.
But if you're a Hall of Famer, shouldn't you? Now, if you're a first ballot, okay.
Come on.
That's a great question. I don't know. I wish is that maybe, you know what? We're gonna do that next week. That's a great one. We'll talk about the playoffs and stuff like that. I would love. I'm gonna try to, we'll get some. I want to get some more opinions on this. Is Russell Westbrook a first ballot Hall of Famer? That's a great question. And I guess we can approach it from two different angles. Will he be, or and should he be? Because I mean, like you said, he
probably won't because of the
MVP. What's that?
The public perception of him now, he probably won't be because everybody whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No, he is not first now because
on either. So you think
because I'm thinking even though he had a good run,
3
or 4 year run, but before that it was a little, it wasn't.
I mean, but he was still putting up good numbers.
Yeah, but not like I think. Okay, so let me ask you this: if he didn't put up those triple doubles the way he did, would he be a Hall of Famer?
Yes, but not first ballot. Yes, but definitely. I think the MVP puts him in the conversation. The MVP and averaging a triple double, I think at least puts him in the conversation to be considered a first ballot guy. And again, I do not like his game. I don't all of that, but I'm just trying to be somewhat.
He had a 3-year run, triple doubles, off one, went to the Wizards to triple double again. Prior to maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because when it's all said and done, he's going to be well over. He's well over 20,000 points already. You know what I'm saying? Like statistically, yeah, he's going to be there. Like,
he averaged 27 and 8.
Yeah, so he's going to be, he's going to be a 25,000 plus, score by the time he careers. By the time he retires, he'll be a 25,000 plus, point scorer. Rebounds will be up there, especially for guards. Assists, will be up there. Even though, I mean, that's a whole nother. We ain't got enough time to go through that. But, but yeah. But I know. I think that's a great topic, and maybe we'll try to get my man Ak next week, or we'll have some callers in. I'll make sure people tune in for this one, because that'll be a good one. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer, or should he be? And should he be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Now, let me ask you this, because this is where I was going before you said that. Do you think Kawhi is? It should be and will be first ballot. Okay.
Because only reason I said it because when he's healthy, he performs.
Sure. Absolutely.
There's no drop off other than he's not playing.
That's true. But now he has 2 rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that. He gets in for sure. He'll get in first ballot probably, right? But I don't know, man. I mean,
but that's two different players.
No. I know. I was just asking that question. I was just asking. Yeah, I'm not comparing the two, but I am.
You think Booker will be a first time?
Yeah, I mean, we still got to see what he does. You know what I mean? We got to see
based off of what he's doing now.
Trajectory, yeah. First team. I mean, first ballot. I won't go out on a limb right now and say he's a definite first ballot Hall of Famer at this point, from what I've seen. Probably, will he, if he stays on the trajectory, don't get hurt, all of that stuff like that? Yeah. Because put it this way, all right, is Klay Thompson a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the rings and all of that. So I get that's part of it, but I mean,
he'll be a first. He has to be first.
Right. So if you just go by numbers and accomplish, now again, Devin Booker hasn't won a championship, but if you just go by numbers, then you have to assume that Devin Booker's numbers will be at least as good as Klay Thompson.
Yeah, it will
So,
be.
yeah. So if you base it off of that, yeah. I mean, that's interesting.
We'll do that. That'll be our topic next week.
Yeah. So now, are we sticking to Westbrook? Or are we going to throw a couple other guys in, or we just or we just kick it with him? Because we'll have a lot with the player. So we'll see. At least we'll talk about Westbrook.
We could do Westbrook versus the world.
All right, we'll do that. All right, sounds good. Well, this is a good one, man. So so we'll definitely be tuned in this week this weekend for the NBA playoffs, and have a lot to talk about next week. So on behalf of Tyler, this is Coach Matt signing off. Another great episode of Live by the 3 Sports Podcast on the Evening Rush Network, and we'll catch y'all next Thursday. Peace.